Okay, call the meeting
Hold on
back.
just a second.
Whoop.
Is there anybody else?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Call the meeting
Oh, I'm
back
sorry.
to order.
Ingram,
Yes. Here.
DeWalt,
Yes, here.
Titus,
Here.
Markwell,
Yes.
Saint,
Yes.
Stoltz.
Yes.
There's no action taken in closed session. Mr. and Mrs. Lowry?
Oh, the public comment first.
Oh.
Next is public comment.
Okay, public comment is next. We have a letter from Mr. and Mrs. Ken Lowry wanting to talk to us about our ordinance that prohibits keeping chickens in the village. So I will just let you tell us what's on your mind.
Okay,
First off, tell us where you live. I think I know, but nope, I'm sorry. Just curious.
Not required, no, they can't be required to say that.
our grandkids wanted, some chickens and, we have, space that we consider, would, be good to keep 3 or 4 chickens. And,
In a coop.
I'm
so-
sorry.
I said in a coop.
Oh, okay.
And one day my wife was gonna go to Rural King and buy the coop and the chicken wire and everything. I said, well, I'd better stop at the city and see if we can have chickens. So I did, and I was told that it was prohibited in town. And I was told to if I wanted to get it on the agenda and come and talk to you about it. And we thought that, 3 or 4 chickens in a coop, penned in, without a rooster, just for a few eggs and for our grandkids to keep them from stealing hubcaps and stuff. It'd be a good project for them, so that's the background.
Well, I wasn't aware, but Champaign-Urbana, you can have 6 chickens.
St. Louis County, you can have chickens.
So,
Send it here.
Well, Toledo does have
Ordinance
chickens.
minutes.
oh, okay.
But I didn't know if maybe a waiver was possible, or change the ordinance, or what, but we don't mean to open a can of worms, just thought we'd ask.
Just crack a couple eggs.
Yeah. As far as where we live, we're right on the edge of town. We have a street out front and a field in the back.
I have no problem with it myself. Half a dozen. No
Personally,
rooster, he said no roosters.
but we would have to amend the ordinance, correct?
Yes. You have to amend the ordinance.
Since I'm on that ordinance committee, can we have a special, meeting on that to discuss this issue and then make a recommendation next, board meeting?
I would like to see that happen, yes.
A special committee meeting.
Pardon?
A special committee meeting.
Yes. It's under ordinances, St. John's chairman, myself, and Keith Titus.
6 o'clock on the 20th,
Yes.
just an hour before the other one.
Mhm.
sure you comply with the Open Meetings Act on sending notice and posting the agenda.
What
Can
is
I
the
have
ordinance
the
now?
clerk to,
Or posting notice.
can I have the clerk to give me a copy of the old ordinance, please?
Can you email that? Joyce?
Yes, I will.
You can, okay.
All right, thank you.
We will get back to you. Okay? Vicki Oakley.
Actually, Mike is the one on public comments, I'm on the agenda.
I'm not on the public comments, but I'd like to speak if I can.
The village, Vicki Oakley,
I'm on the agenda, he's on
Yeah,
public
she's-
comments.
you're on Bo.
Yeah.
They called you for, are you ready?
Excuse me? I'm on the agenda, I
Right.
didn't ask for public comments, Mike is on
Okay.
public comments.
Okay, go ahead. Vicki Oakley, the agenda item, but if she wants to elaborate, then just go ahead and allow that.
Okay.
Good?
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to thank the city council for allowing us to speak tonight on behalf of the wrongful termination of Officer Ray Hamilton. I prepared a few facts that I would like to express on behalf of Officer Hamilton, in my opinion. Ray always takes time for others as a police officer and as a civilian. He's always being asked questions on a personal level or questions regarding the law. And I know that he tries to explain them to the best of his ability so that you can understand them, even if you don't like the answer. Sorry, I'm not a real good public speaker.
Okay.
Good.
Ray greets everyone with a smile and a kind word. He makes you feel like a friend, even if you've done wrong, and he's only fulfilling his obligation as a police officer.
Excuse me.
Ray has went above and beyond to do things for our town and our community, be it taking food to the elderly or just stopping by one of our local vets to say hi. Ray truly cares about the well-being and most of all, the security of our town. He treats you as a person, a true American. It's not just a number on the top of his ticket book. Ray has been wrongfully and dishonestly charged by false allegations toward his personal character as well as his professional character. The person and persons who continue to spread these lies are not our fellow citizens or staples in our community, but they're only thorns in a cancer that are trying to infest our small town with the lies and dishonesty. They should be held accountable for their deliberate and dishonest actions, as well as a total lack of becoming as a city employee or a citizen, whatever it be. Ray was subpoenaed by a court of law to tell the truth. Ray did not testify falsely for myself or against any other officer. He simply told the truth. The wrongful accusations of him being a bad cop are grossly false and inappropriate. The people who continue to spread these lies are the true bad guys. And when the truth comes out, and it will, I hope they are standing wanting. I feel it appropriate for this council, as elected voices for our town, to find it in the utmost importance to conduct a special investigation into the lies and slander that are being spread. It not only harms the integrity of Officer Hamilton, but it also harms the integrity of our town. And if findings show any employee or employees to be at fault, an immediate suspension or termination should be invoked on the guilty parties on the grounds of defamation of character to this honest, loyal, trustworthy, and in my opinion, most qualified officer on our force. His integrity is second to none. I also pray that the council sees fit to reinstate Officer Hamilton immediately and hold these who are a true cancer to this town accountable for their actions and harm they have caused Officer Hamilton, as well as our town and us as citizens. Thank you.
Did good.
Anybody else with any public comments?
I've got one. I'm here tonight mainly because I understand that at a prior meeting, people were prohibited from speaking and public comment was not allowed. And I'm here to ask that the mayor and all the board members formally issue an apology for everybody that's at this meeting. Because public comment is a right. Disallowing public comment is a violation of the Open Meetings Act, and it's a crime. It's a Class C misdemeanor, and it's defined in the Open Meetings Act as a Class C misdemeanor. It's also a civil right that could be pursued in the federal courts. I doubt if anybody's gonna do that, I'm just letting you know. It could be pursued as a violation of their civil right to free speech. Especially since state law requires that you guys provide public comment time. It doesn't say, oh, we're gonna permit you to talk. You're required to allow people to talk under certain conditions that you can establish, and establishing those conditions, they're supposed to enhance the public's right to comment, not diminish or reduce their right to public comment. So any rules need to be established in favor of the public commenting at the meeting and assisting them in that comment, not trying to put undue restrictions on them, like signing up 5 minutes before the meeting or 10 minutes before, or whatever you want to do. Just, and I hope, and I don't know who was the one that made the decision not to allow public comment. I heard it was the mayor and the village president, but I don't know, that's why I asked. But the point is, it was wrong, and I hope you apologize to the people that were here. Thanks.
Any other public comment at this time?
Yeah, I've got a couple things. My name's Kirk Allen. I'm co-founder of the Edgar County Watchdogs. I just had a couple of inquiries in regards to the public comment issue. But one that jumped out at me, and I want to compliment the clerk on her FOIA responses. She's been great about getting the FOIAs to me. I do appreciate that. Under the municipal code, and I'm not sure what form of government Toledo has adopted, but I'm having a hard time finding where the law permits the mayor to appoint a village clerk. Now, I know in section 3, officers to be elected in all cities incorporated under this code, there shall be elected a mayor, alderman, and a city clerk. 3.1-30.5, the mayor or president, as the case may be, by and with the advice and consent of the city council, it outlines all the people they can appoint. And clerk's not in that. But in an ordinance in 2007, it gives the president the power to appoint a clerk. And this is the first municipality I've ever seen anywhere that their clerk's not elected, and I'm just curious how that came to be. Because it appears to be in conflict with state law. Anybody have any comment regarding that?
Not at this time.
No comment. All right, thank you. In regards to the public comment policy, I did FOIA that, and the clerk sent me a copy of it. I appreciate it. A couple things that were concerning to us as a local government accountability group. We see this all over the state. I understand the need for a policy. The 5 minutes prior to the meeting, the question that will eventually come up, the guy that walks in 2 minutes before the meeting, are you going to let him speak? And it's going to be an issue if you don't. And having that 5 minutes in there is not a positive step towards the public comment. The other thing, it requires subject matter. And I believe case law history will point that subject matter person can address their public body and they're not required to tell you what they're going to talk about. Because I know some people tonight, John in particular, changed part of what he was going to talk about based on things that happened tonight. So requiring subject matter I don't think is appropriate, and I'd ask that you change that. Under section 3, participation at a meeting, item C, it says unless a majority of the board of trustees and the president agree to extend the time. So if a person's presenting something and they end up at the 5 minute mark, the board could say, we want to go forward and let them talk longer, but the way this is written, that's only going to happen with an agreement of the president. Because it says, and the president agreed to extend the time. And usually it's a majority vote of a board that makes decisions, but in this case, you want to step above and beyond, so I think that needs to be addressed. Under item E, nor shall they be allowed to question the president or the board of trustees. I would encourage some research in the federal case law of First Amendment rights of people to address their government and their elected officials. If a person wants to ask a question of the mayor of their community, they have every right to do that under federal law, just as they would have a right to ask a question of a board member. So I would ask that you take a hard look at those items and amend them accordingly. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments?
I have one. I was sitting here listening to you guys tonight, and you were opening the bids, and you magically stated that you knew what the bid was for the concrete beforehand, and you had talked it over 3 or 4 days prior with somebody about the bid being higher than expected. How did you know what the bid was before the bid was open? Are you admitting to bid rigging? Because that's what you just stated a few minutes ago. I have it on video.
Any further public comments?
I'm here. Can I speak, please?
Sure.
I'm here in regards to Ray. I want to give you a little bit about Ray. I've known him for a while. I'm from Mattoon, Illinois. My name is Rob Perry. Ray has worked for me for the last 3 or 4 years as a civil process server. And I can guarantee you nobody works any harder at a job. That's not an easy thing to do, and when Ray sets his mind to do something, he follows through and he does it. And I think he'd be a blessing for your community. I think you'd be better off with a guy like him because he won't stop doing the right thing. And I think the other thing I'd like to say about the dogs, the watchdogs being here, they're not here to cause trouble. I think what they're here to do is to put you in a position to where you do the right thing, the right way, and the good way. That's all I have to say.
If I can make a comment. My name is Sue Wells. I live here in Toledo. And this guy sitting down here in this blue shirt is a wonderful guy. He's very rare. It's rare that we find an officer that wants to only protect and serve our community, but he also helps. He has not helped me in any way, and I'm not here for that reason. He is genuine. He'll tell you how it is, whether you like hearing it or not. He's a very friendly person. He believes in God. What more could we ask for? He doesn't treat people indifferent. We would be very blessed to have him serve in this community. And that's all I have.
Any other comments? Okay, Vicki.
First, I also want to thank the board for getting me on the agenda. And thanks, Joyce, for contacting me. I appreciate it. I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I just saw it, so I'm going to. When we are talking about things in here as citizens, it is not appreciated when you, the board, are laughing at us. I'm sorry. Inappropriate. Very inappropriate. You may not like what we have to say, you may not agree with it, but you are on this board. You're laughing at comments made by people that are here because they're concerned about our village. Inappropriate. I don't ever want to see that again. That's the first thing I want to say. Sorry. Very inappropriate. I want to remind the board and the mayor and anybody else, these are elected officials. You guys are elected. You're supposed to be here working for us. You're supposed to be here representing us and doing what the village wants. It's no different than a senator or a congressman. We've all complained about our senators and our congressmen not doing what we need them to do, what we want them to do. They're representing our district, are they? No, they're not. That's how a lot of people right now feel about the board and about the mayor. That you're not representing what we want. You come in here, you do what you gotta do, and you go home, and we don't even know what in the Sam hell you're doing. You know, because without someone asking specific questions, we didn't know we could ask, what are you doing? You know, what does that mean? What does that thing you just passed? What is this? What is that? We're who you represent. Have you ever thought about coming out and talking to us? Ever? I mean, do y'all think about that? Come talk to us. There's a lot of things that are going on around here that we don't like, and nobody cares. You work for us. Did you forget that? Did you forget that's how you got this? We voted you in. We expect you to represent us. Please try and do that. That's vitally important that you do that. These board meetings have been conducted lately illegally. We all know that. You guys knew it. We know it. Now, let's get that straightened out. But that's been addressed by somebody else. As far as Ray Hamilton, I walked around the village of Toledo since the last meeting we began to have that was shut down. And I talked to a lot of people, and you know, a lot of people in this village think that Ray Hamilton was fired because they were told, or they heard through the grapevine, that he lied on the witness stand and that he testified against an officer. Okay, now, how did they get that idea? I don't know. Might be on a page on Facebook that a family member of an officer posted, and then the officer reposted it on his Facebook page that was basically slanderous. Nothing's been addressed in that by the board. That page miraculously, that comment miraculously disappeared. That officer should have been terminated right there, period. But instead, you know, Ray's the one that got the job. Ray's a good police officer. He's been to my house before when someone just walked on in like they owned the place. He showed up, a couple other officers showed up. But you know what stood out in my mind? Because this was a few years ago. What stood out in my mind was that Ray Hamilton wanted one. Do you have somewhere to go? Do you feel safe here? Not another officer asked me that. They all just come in, oh, we don't see them, and away they wanted to go. He didn't do that. He was down with his flashlight trying to see if he could find some footprints anywhere to see which way they were going. He said, do you have somewhere to go? Do you need someone to call? I appreciated that. I also stayed till someone picked me up. I appreciated that. The other officers didn't do that. That right there tells me that he cares about people here. You know, he's concerned about not just the fact that he's an officer and he comes in with his, you know, I'm the police. He didn't do that. He came in as a person. And he understood that I live alone and I was scared. I appreciate that in an officer. The chief of police terminated Ray. You as a board and the mayor are supposed to make sure you know what's going on. Can anyone on this board tell me why Ray Hamilton was fired? Can the mayor tell me? Will anyone tell me why Ray Hamilton was fired? So I'll take that as no comment. Yeah, that'll come to bite you in the butt. I can tell you some comments that were made as to why he was fired. This, don't testify against another officer. He didn't do that. If the board would have bothered to walk across the street, you can get the documents that state everything Ray said while he was testifying. You can also find out where he was served a subpoena. It wasn't in the courtroom. He was served a subpoena at Fujiyama Restaurant on his birthday with his wife, his daughter, his mother, and his father while he ate dinner. For his birthday, he got served a subpoena. That means, as an officer above anything, he's supposed to go in and tell the truth. If I get a subpoena, I'm supposed to go in there and tell the truth. There is not one word of what he said that was against Daniel Hanley. Not one word. Read it. If you haven't, do it. Because you should have. And it should have been done before he was terminated. Number two, did he lie? He told what he saw. Were you there? Anybody? No. He told what he saw. He didn't say that didn't mean that the bulb of the stupid vehicle didn't get, I mean, you can drive down the road and a light can go out. We've all experienced that. Okay? And we all hope that we can get home before we get pulled over because obviously they may not believe us. But it's happened. Testifying when you're subpoenaed and speaking the truth is not testifying against an officer. It's not lying on the witness stand. It's not any of the BS that is going around this town about what he did. Okay? Just prior to that case being heard, y'all bought him 2 new shirts. Why'd you do that? If he was a bad officer, if you needed to get rid of him, why did you all buy him a long sleeve and a short sleeve knowing summer was coming? Why did you buy him those shirts? If your intention was, he's not a good officer and we need to get rid of him. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. In fact, it makes no sense. I don't suppose anybody has any comment. Yeah, that's what I got. Here's something I want you all to think about, because obviously you're not going to make any comments. Obviously no one wants to man up. Do you want police officers in your town? I would guess that I can't imagine anybody here that would want a police officer that's going to lie to protect another police officer. But it appears to me that that's kind of what you want. He didn't talk about Mr. Hanley when he testified. He talked about a light. And when he saw it, nothing about an officer. But suddenly the other officers don't trust him. They don't feel like they can trust him. Why? Because he'll tell the truth? Really? So we're not, if it comes to an officer being subpoenaed into a courtroom and another officer is in that courtroom and he's not testifying on behalf of the other officer, then we don't want him? Okay, I'm sorry. That's the kind of officer I want. If he was in there to testify against him, which he was not, but if he was, if he did something wrong, I want him to tell the truth. I don't believe in the blue line. I lived with a cop for 17 years. I don't believe in it. It's a bunch of BS. I don't believe in it. If you do wrong as a citizen, you're going to get dragged into that courtroom. You're probably going to sit in jail for a while, and you may even go to prison. There is no difference between a police officer or me, the woman that has nothing. There's no difference between that officer, that officer, that officer, or any of you people on the board or the mayor. We all have to abide by the same laws. Period. The board knows the rumors going around. They've heard, you guys have heard them. I've discussed them. Some of the board members have discussed them with me. Some of the board members have said, we hate that this has come to this in our town. We hate that the Edgar County watchdogs are here. There was even a rumor that I called them. I never called them, just for the record. It was a male. I'm female. I didn't do it. Never said I did. Didn't think they could even come to Cumberland County. My understanding, Edgar County watchdogs kind of implies Edgar County, so. But the only reason they're here is because you guys weren't doing it the right way. Don't be mad at anybody but yourselves for them being here. And I've heard the comments, you know, they wouldn't be here if this, if that. No, they wouldn't be here if the meetings were being conducted properly and things were being done the right way. I would rather it not come to this. I would. But the people were getting kind of run over. And things were just being done the way that they'd always been done. And that's not the right way. It needs to be done the right way. So, I really, really, truly understand that there are some people that are not going to like me going forward. I get that. I understand it. There's already some that don't because I show up here. But in all honesty, if you will be honest with yourselves, we're only here because y'all didn't do your job. So take that anger and turn it a little inside for a little while, because we don't want to feel it. We're tired of feeling it. I thank you for your time.
Any other public comments at this time? Hearing none. Anything else for the good of the community, the board? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will sort of make that motion to adjourn.
Second.
Call for vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.